Welcome in this new video. My name is Jullian and I am the co-founder and CEO of Elite Chef Academy. And in today's training, we'll cover everything you need to find clients as a private chef without any prior experience. The point number one, it's going to be leverage your existing skills and experience. After being in sales and generating millions of dollars over the past 3 years, I understood one key thing. The one that wins is not the one that has the best product knowledge, but the one that believes the most that he can do it. Let me explain this. You put two people in the same room. One has a better skill set and the other one has a better energy. I can guarantee you, with having experienced this countless times, that the one with the higher energy wins. It is never going to be about skill set. Now you've got a goal skill. You got a goal skill set, right? You know exactly what you set, like your product, right? You're really good technical person, and on top of this, you have a really good energy. That's bonus. But I wanted to give you an example of what is going to win if one has something and the other one has the other. It's always going to be about energy first. So how do you do if you don't have such a high energy, but a lot of really good skill set? Well, you're going to focus on the skill set because this is your existing experience. You need to walk into that room thinking that this skill set is what will send you to the moon. When I first started to look for clients, I didn't have crazy cooking skills, but I had a little bit of everything. I had a pastry chef certification. I did a little bit of flow, like I was a waiter, cooked for 2 years, and I was part of a few restaurants opening, meaning I knew what it took to work really, really hard. I mean, you know what it takes to work really hard when you're a chef anyway, but when you're a chef doing openings, if you've been doing that already, or if you've been starting businesses anyway, you know what it takes to get started on a project, right? So each room I came to, my belief system was I am the Swiss knife that a potential client could need. That was what I was focusing on, okay? My existing skill or experience was knowing a little bit of everything, not really being talented at anything specifically, but good at everything. If you are not really good at everything but really talented at one thing, this is what you should focus on. And I'm gonna give you another example that comes to mind because I don't think I'm talking about it here. I mentioned in another training that I met some really successful private chefs in my career that were not chefs. They never had like fine dining experience and not even restaurant experience. They were not chef by trade. They were a photographer or ski instructor or waiter, but their the thing that I was focusing on, I'm looking for the word, their existing skill or experience was the network. They knew a lot of people. They were already in good community, in good rooms. So they had already the contact. They know that if they start developing a little bit of like cooking skills, obviously, well, they had a trade and they could start this business. Okay? So if that's you, well, this is what you should focus on. Don't start thinking like, oh, I know so many people that I could work with as a private chef, but I don't know how to cook, so I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, that is not the way that you should actually think, because otherwise, like, this is going to happen because your energy is going to go down. Like, you need to come completely convinced that this number one thing, again, is going to send you to the moon. Okay? At this time, back in the day, when I was like in this period, I had no idea that the importance of believing so much in myself and that I'll be successful no matter what. But after experiencing this over the past 3 years at such a higher level, now it just makes total sense. Belief is the first thing you need. The conclusion here is that you are enough. No matter who you are and where you come from, the importance of this point is to focus on what you're the best at and make this a much bigger story than what it really is. Fake it until you make it. The most successful entrepreneurs all struggle with the imposter syndrome. The difference between the good ones and the rest is that the good ones will always act anyway, but more importantly, be aware that they don't feel imposters for no reason. They know they are, and they will work their way up until they become skilled enough not to be an imposter anymore. But then they'll become an imposter again because they're gonna want to reach a new level. I hope that this makes sense. Okay, so it's completely fine to feel like an imposter because you are one. The idea right here is to fight with that belief, okay, and make your way through, go through it, overcome it. If we take the example of something that scares you, the idea is not to be scared about it, it's to do things anyway, right? We're not going to start like a training on mindset right now, but you got the point. Point number two, offer pop-up dinners and event scattering. Don't expect to work for a Russian family or on a yacht for 15K a month right away. At first, start with small-scale events like pop-up dinners or private events for friends and families. This will help you showcase your skills and build a portfolio without needing formal private chef experience. When I first started, I met a guy who was looking for private chef for one of his clients on the Facebook group. Long story short, when I met that guy, the announcement wasn't available anymore, but he had some cooking jobs for me available at that time. I thought that helping him with those jobs will allow me to build a relationship, and one day or another, he'll have another event. And because I was the closest person in his circle, because I was always in his mind, because I was helping him with other things, he will just call me again and give me the job. And this is literally what happened. 2 weeks later, I was working for the Canadian ambassador in Geneva, and I was making $700 a day. That was my first ever experience. I wasn't trying to, get too high, work on a yacht, make tens of thousands of dollars a month. I just went on a Facebook group, get in touch with somebody, proposed to work for free in the beginning, stay in his mind. He ended up paying me for doing some cooking jobs, and 2 weeks later, I was a private chef, or at least I had my first experience. Now, let me talk to you about how powerful this collaboration was. About a month later, a friend of mine told me he was working at an event and built a good relationship with the private chef that was in charge of this event. This private chef at the time was in charge of a castle every year during summer, but unfortunately, a few days after the event, he got an injury and couldn't perform for the coming summer to this castle. Well, who do you think got the contract at this time and became the official private chef of this royal family? It was myself, and everything started because I was able to find somebody on a Facebook group, swallow a little bit of the pill, start working some odd cooking jobs for him, get the Canadian ambassador position 2 weeks later, and because I had this position, then I was able to be presented to that other private chef that had a contract for myself. If I never had this private chef experience prior to this, maybe this guy wouldn't even have taken the time to talk to me and to propose me the contract when he spoke to my friend. And maybe my friend wouldn't even think like, oh yes, I have a friend as a private chef because I didn't have this experience before. You know what I'm saying? So maybe my friend, when this guy would ask my friend would just be like, no, I don't know anybody. Point number three, networking and collaborating with other professionals. When you're going to start working here and there, people will know about you. Those places are really small. Wealthy people all hang out around the same areas. You go buy your meat at the same butcher, you buy the wine in the same winery, you bread at the same bakery, and you start networking literally in those places. I'm gonna tell you a story again. 2 days before Christmas, I was at a fish market, and I speak loudly to the Mexicans about how my hands were hurting so much because of the cold air. Okay, I was in a ski resort. It was December, and it was a mix of the cold, the water when I was cleaning dishes, and me drying my hands on my apron. Okay, or on like a piece of tissue. So I start having my hands started hurting because of like all of these things, right? Right next to me, in the back, in this fish market, there was the private chef, one of the most famous pop star in the world. Okay, not gonna talk about the name. You know this person, like you know the pop star. He was over there, and he was just like, "Hey, dude, I'm just listening to what you're saying. I'm struggling with the same thing. as a chef, I'm a chef. It's just like get this and use it. Well, the funny thing is, in this place that I was already like the ski resort, I was there for like it was like 3 months. That I was already there, so I built some connection already. This guy literally just arrived, okay, in town this day or the day before to perform for this pop star. He knew nobody. And we were December, close to Christmas. Everybody's busy. Okay, we're in a really wealthy place. And this guy's looking for white truffle, and everybody is selling it for 3 to 4 times the price that it was actually at that time of the year. I mean, especially in this year because truffle is changing every year, right? The only way for him to get the exact price was to know somebody. And this somebody was me because I was there already 3 months. And because I made connection, nobody will sell me the truffle at 3 times the price. They will sell me at the market price. So because of this, I could get in 100 grams of truffle, of right truffle, without him having to, like screw the business owner, because obviously it's a bit, I mean, it's the client that pays for the truffle, but whatever. So all of that to say what? I ended a few weeks later working for a client, for a close client of that pop star for $5 a week during 3 weeks because this guy gave me the word, okay? And we became friends and we had other events together. But all of this started at the fish market. And you might be like, oh, yes, but like, what if it didn't happen? It would have happened with somebody else. This is the power of networking, okay? This is the power of having high-end communication skill. It's not about having my hands that hurt and this guy giving me the cream. It's about everything that happens later and the way that I was able to help him and to provide him something without expecting anything in return. This is in marketing. This is called the effect of reciprocity. Okay, you give something to somebody, they genuinely feel like they need to give you something back. Okay, this is a law. This is a law of, I want to say a law of universe, but this is how it works psychologically. Okay. Point number 4: promote yourself online and locally. Once you've been there long enough, 6 months and plus, when I'm saying like you've been there, it's like in the same location or in the same area, or you've been working with the same people, and you understand the networking game the way I did, I'm gonna be honest, like you're gonna be overwhelmed with contracts. There are more contracts that you can't even handle. Concierge wants to work with you. Private chef agency gives you phone calls. Or the private chef gets sick after partying too much and needs somebody for a quick replacement. An old client has a friend in town and send you a message because the other agency took too long to answer the email. Like you got like this is gonna happen when you know how to network properly. When you arrive on the prestation on the event and you perform to the highest of your ability. Like this is gonna happen. This game takes time. It's not gonna be an overnight thing where you'll get contracts for 10K a month within the first 3 weeks, but it doesn't have to take 3 years neither. In my opinion, 3 to 6 months is the sweet spot to get to that level. Okay, it took me 3 months for myself to get to that level, and I'll say it took me another 6 months to really solidify. So 9 months in total. Now that I can help you, it shouldn't take you more than 90 days to solidify everything because you won't have to go through all the headaches that I've been through during the 9 months, right? Conclusion. The core foundation of this training is your ability to talk to people and the reputation that you build in the early stage. You need to make sure that you don't shoot yourself in the foot, you don't burn your name, because this is a really small world. This world is small and everybody knows everybody. You have to learn how to navigate the skill of networking with other similar individuals. But not only, remember that I didn't find contracts as a private chef in a networking event, but at the fish market. Okay, so it's like it's good to go to the networking event. It's good to go to places where you can meet a lot of people at the same time, but you also have to remember that those people that you're looking for, they ride around you. They're at the bakery, they're at the winery, They are the fish market. They're going to buy flowers for their spouse. They are in town. Okay, they are in town. Once you get one or two of these contracts, use the power of social media, but not only. Okay, you can do it in person too. Obviously, most important. Again, we need to understand that like we use social media to brand ourselves. We use social media as a book. Okay, this is what I do. When you're in touch with people, you maintain that relationship with them through social media, but you go out there to find contracts. Okay, it's not like you're selling something for like $100 and you need to knock doors every single day to sell. I don't know, like glasses for $100. Like you can find a client that is gonna pay you $200,000 a year just by knocking the right door. So go out and knock door. It's an efficient this is an efficient strategy, and you got to make a high return on investment. Okay. um, you use social media to claim out loud your achievements so people get to know you and give you a call as soon as they need somebody, because you'll be the other one staying on top of the mind. That's the end of this audio video.